Hello, today we're going to make a classic dart or glider airplane. This is the classic version. I grew up knowing how to make this, and you should too. So what we'll be doing is we're going to turn our copy paper or notebook paper, whatever you have around, we're going to turn that vertical, okay? So that means straight up and down like this. When you're folding your airplane, we really want to make sure that your lines are crisp and sharp. Well, not your lines, but your folds. So when we start folding, make sure that you have a tool nearby, like a pencil or a marker or a pen, something, so that you can help crease those lines down nice and evenly, okay? So what we'll do is, starting with our vertical piece of paper, we're going to take this side and fold it over to the other side, okay? Now, make sure that your corners are nice and even. Once you have that, we want to clamp that down with our fingers, okay? Now this is kind of an important part of folding. A lot of times people will stomp that down, but we don't want to do that. What we want to do is make sure that our corners are even. So let me just make sure it's nice and as perfect as I can make it. All right, I'm going to clamp that down and I'm going to slide back to make sure that it's flat against the table, okay? So I want to slide back to get that fold. Then I want to use my tool to crease that down as nice and sharp as I can get it, okay? Now, what we have here, if I open it up, this is called a valley fold. A valley fold is where it goes down. We have mountains on the sides and a valley in the middle. If I flip it over, we have a mountain fold. That means there's a peak in the middle and it's lower on the outside edges. So I might refer to that later on during the video. We're back here. This is what we just did. We're going to open this up. All right, super basic, classic. What happens is we take this side and we're going to fold it down the line of symmetry in the middle. Okay, so I want to make sure that I don't go past the center. So I kind of keep my finger in place there so that I know I don't slide the paper too far. Okay. Whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other side. So I'm going to keep my finger up at the top, making sure that I have a nice little point. Make sure that we're lined up along the line of symmetry in the center. If it's not perfect, hey, it's not the end of the world, right? We can always try again. If you need to, pause the video so that you can keep up with me, all right? So now that's the first step, okay? What we'll do now is we're going to take this straight line and we're going to line that up in the center, okay? There we go. Clamp it down once you have it and slide out to give it a nice crease. All right, use your tool. Notice I haven't taken my fingers off yet. I want to keep that planted down to keep it in place, all right? All right, now to the other side, I'm going to use this hand to hold this paper down, because when I pick it up and start moving it around, this can slide around and I don't want that to happen. So I'm going to keep my fingers there as long as I can. And once I've gotten that, line that up as evenly as I can, clamp it down again and slide out. Now, sometimes the paper doesn't want to behave, so you kind of have to be gentle. You have to show it who's boss. Take your tool, press it down firmly. Okay, here we are. Now, what we want to do is we're going to fold it into a mountain fold. Right now, this is a valley fold. We're going to fold it this direction. So mountain fold. Now, if your paper doesn't behave, you might have to put your finger in there and kind of push it into place, okay? Be gentle with it, because paper, when you fold it, it has a memory. It remembers where it's been folded before, so any accidental folds will stick around, okay? So here it is, all right? Now all we have to do is make a wing on each side. So this is the bottom of the airplane, and we're going to fold out like so. There we go. We'll crease that down with a tool in just a second. Before we do that, we're going to flip it over. Notice that the wing on the other side is visible, and we're going to line this up with that. So go ahead and make sure that it's symmetrical down here. I'm going to turn my paper. It's a little bit easier for me to hold it in a different way. Okay, so we're going to line that up, make sure it's as even as possible. Once you've gotten that lined up, clamp it in place, okay, and slide backwards to give a crease. Now it's going to be a little trickier because it's very thin over here, okay? So as you slide up, you want to keep your fingers in place, and that paper's not wanting to cooperate, so we really have to show it who's boss. Okay, there we go. Oh, all right. Now, maybe you're not as picky as I am, but I love my airplanes to be as perfect as possible. Yeah. Sometimes they're not though, and that's okay. We can always try again. So this is your classic airplane. This is a mix between a glider and a dart, okay? A dart you throw really fast and at an upwards angle, and it tends to go a lot faster and farther that way. A glider is a plane that you're going to throw more at a slightly upward angle or straight, and you throw it more gently, okay? So it can be thrown either way. It tends to fly pretty far, all right? So I hope you've enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing your airplanes. Let's get to flying.